Alrighty, guys and gals, it's your boy Wardy, and we got to talk about the Metropolitans for a second time today on the channel, because the first time was a breaking news live show we did of over an hour-long discussion regarding Carlos Mendoza coming in as the Mets' new manager, coming over from the Bronx, and how Craig Counsell didn't come to the Mets, but he landed in Chicago with the Cubs. How exactly did that happen? Our initial raw live reactions and analysis of what we shared, so make sure to check out that live show in case you haven't already, as I spent plenty of time answering a plethora of your comments, questions, and concerns on the Mendoza and Counsell front, what this means for the team going forward, and rest assured we'll be speaking plenty more on Mendoza as new Mets manager throughout the ensuing weeks and months here on the channel. But now let's get into the other form of breaking news that happened today. Actually happened while we were live earlier, as a matter of fact, in that stream. If you guys watch it, then you know it. Adam Ottavino's time in Queens has come to an end, it looks like, as he basically said it himself. You know, I was trying to restructure my deal, and as soon as I tried doing that with the front office, David Stearns, they essentially had other plans. They were not showing any interest. So Adam Ottavino, who was owed $6.75 million on a player option should he opt into it for the 2024 season, has decided not to. He opts out, which makes him a free agent. He is officially elected for agency, which also means his time in Queens has likely come to an end. Now, why did the Mets do this? Why did they not want to really restructure anything with Adam, who, as you see over a course of 2 seasons in Queens, has a 2.6 ERA over just under 130 innings pitched, a 1.55 ERA plus, which means around 55% better than the average pitcher in the game, which is impressive in its own right. But there's clear reasons as to why David Stearns and the Mets decided to opt out and say, hey, you know, we appreciate everything you've done here, but we no longer have interest in you being a part of the club. Has to do with a couple of factors. One, it's age. Adam isn't getting any younger. Pretty sure he's around 39 right now. 2, it's his struggles that we saw this past season, in which in 2022 looked phenomenal as a setup man for Edwin Diaz, was pretty much unhittable in a lot of ways. 2023, however, knowing that you already had bullpen hiccups as is, with Diaz being down before the year began, Buck Showalter already having an uphill battle to climb, having utilized Adam far more than what he would have liked to in back-to-back days, just wasn't working for Ottavino at this point in his career. Struggled mightily, was hanging pitches, especially back-to-back. It really felt like a death sentence at times when Adam was out there, because you just weren't loving the odds. Yes, he only had a 3.21 ERA on the season, but that doesn't tell the whole story, and that's why you have to look into more than just the numbers. You have to use the eye test as well and make sure, how are these guys performing, how are they getting out of jams. And in a lot of cases this year, and Mets fans, if you watch the games and you know it yourself, Adam did not look great out there on many occasions trying to get out of his own mess. And if he had to endure a mess, if he had to come on with guys on base, forget it. He was really struggling mightily in that regard too. So yes, the Mets have a lot of work that they need to do with this bullpen, but thankfully they have a guy in David Stearns who's notorious for building bullpens both internally and externally, which he did such a great job throughout his tenure, not only that we saw with the Brewers, but also as assistant GM throughout his stint in Houston, which really started to really upstart his career, kickstart rather, as a front office head there in the game of baseball. So Adam's tenure in Queens is coming to an end. The Mets have plenty of holes in this bullpen that they do need to address. And while I wouldn't have hated the idea of Ottavino returning, I can understand the Mets' perspective here. And also, $6.75 million for another year Adam isn't the worst thing, but that's pretty much right about what he would be getting. So I don't know exactly what type of restructure, redo of a contract he was looking for. If it meant, you know, he wants more money and potentially wants another option for after the 2024 season, I can understand from Stearns and the Mets' point of view as to why they don't really love that idea, with him not getting any younger and likely going to continue to regress, even if it's not ginormous, just not to the degree that the Mets feel is worthy of investing in. And for that reason, Adam Ottavino is going to be going elsewhere should he continue his MLB career, and I imagine he will. Adam's still a very effective reliever, just a guy that, for unfortunately, if you're a Mets fan that want him back, is no longer going to be a New York Metropolitan. But Mets fans, I want to know your initial reactions in the comments down below to this breaking news that yes, Adam Ottavino is done after looking like he was a sure lock for this Mets bullpen, in which there weren't many certainties for 2024, but he was looking like one of them, is no longer one of them. So my question to you is, how would you like the Mets to address that setup role specifically in the bullpen this year, either internally, externally? If so, do you like some free agent options, trade options? Who do you like that you would like to see the Mets pursue for their bullpen as soon as this offseason, which we're underway with free agency? GM meetings begin tomorrow at the time of recording this. A lot of stuff is happening in Mets land, so rest assured we will be covering it all to a T. You guys know the drill. We got content coming out. I've been sitting in this chair all day and I'm not done yet because we got more content to grind. Very excited for this offseason. I cannot wait to be a part of it with you all as we share our initial thoughts and reactions and news. As a community, it's nothing better. So Mets fans, thank you so much again for the continued support. Stay tuned for a lot of content coming throughout the week and the weeks going forward. And no matter what, let's go Mets, baby. Peace out.